So it's Homebrew Wednesday episode 2, and today I'm going to be making or starting a Kiwi wine. And the kiwis I'm going to use today are ones I bought on sale at the supermarket. Unfortunately we can't grow them where I live, so it's cheating a little bit, but hopefully it'll turn out a nice wine. Cut up all my kiwi fruit and I've just sliced them up even pieces, and I've left the skin on. And what I need to do now is to put all of this into my sterilised fermenting bucket. So what I have here is a 3-gallon bucket. So it's better that it's bigger than the amount of wine you want to make, just in case it bubbles up. So I'm just going to put all them in here and measure how many's in there. So we have 4.7 pounds worth of fruit, which is exactly 2 kilos. So what I need to do now is, all the fruit that's inside, I'm going to mash that up as best as I can with a sterilised masher. It's really important to make sure everything you use equipment wise is sterilised. So what I normally use is a sterilising powder which is available from Young's Home Brewing, and I'll just show you the one that we use. It's this one here, and it's called the Steriliser and Cleaner, and the instructions for the sterilisation are just 1 teaspoon of powder in 1.5 litres of warm water, and then you use that to clean the equipment. So you can either scrub with it or just leave it submerged for a certain amount of time, depending on how soiled your equipment is. So I'm just going to get my sterilised masher and start mashing the fruit. So I'm just going to get my sterilised masher, which is this plastic one. I prefer to use a metal one because it would be easier, but I have read somewhere you should try and only use plastic or silicone type materials when you're doing your wine. So I'm going to go in there now and start mashing. I'm going to probably need some mussels for this because this is all fresh fruit. But another method you can use is freezing your fruit first, which does help to mash because it starts breaking down when it defrosts. But today, unfortunately, I hadn't got round to defrosting my fruit. So it's pretty easy. I'm just going to mash it like this. Takes a bit of strength, but it's not too hard. And what this does is it'll extract as much fruit and flavour as you can out of the fruit. It'll get all the juices out. They'll start to separate from the skins, but that doesn't matter. And I'll just keep going. The kiwis have got a bit of a banana smell at the moment, similar to a banana or a gooseberry, I'd say. It smells a bit like. So I'll just keep doing that and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so in the bucket, I've tried as best as I can to crush up the fruit. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour on half of my water. So that's 2.5 litres of boiling water. So you want to make sure this is boiling, because what it'll do is not only will it sterilise the water, because it's hot it'll start to soften your fruit, which will help when you start to ferment it, breaking it down, that kind of thing. So I'm going to pour on half of the water, so that's 2.5 litres. I'm going to pour that on now. Just to make sure I've got it right, I'm going to use a scale. Oops. So it's £2 worth. So now we have the water in there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour on my sugar. So I'm just using regular white granulated sugar. And that works out at almost £2.4. So using my masher again, sterilised still, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to stir to dissolve the sugar. So now I have added the 2.5 litres of water. I'm going to go back in and I'm just stirring in the sugar. So now we have in the bucket the 2.5 litres of water and the kilo of sugar, and that's just normal granulated sugar. And I'm just going to keep stirring that in. So keep stirring until the bottom doesn't feel gritty anymore, and as you're stirring, try and mash a bit more of your fruit to break it up. So I'll just show you guys what it looks like now. So that is it so far, just half the amount of water we need. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the rest of the water, and I'm just going to use tap water for this. So that'll be another 2.5 litres of water, and that'll bring the temperature of the water down so that we can add the other ingredients. So now we've got all our water added into the bucket, and what we need to do next is we need to add in our pectolase, we need to add in a little bit of tannin, and we need to add in some citric acid, and we need to add in 1 crushed Camden tablet. So it's a similar method as before for the last wine we made, but with the added tannin. So what I plan to do now is just add in half a teaspoon of pectic enzyme, and the reason I only do half is because this particular fruit has a pectic enzyme on the skins anyway, so a half will be enough. And then I need to add in a 1/8 of a teaspoon of wine tannin, which is available from Young's again. That's 1/8 of a teaspoon of that. Then I want to add in just 1/2 of a teaspoon of citric acid. Just add a bit of acidity because the kiwis don't have too much of it in them. And then the last ingredient I need to add is a crushed Camden tablet. So we just crush that between 2 spoons. There we go, and we add that to the mixture. And then with our sterilised masher, we're just going to stir it all together. So we are on day 2 of the Kiwi wine, and into our mixture we're just going to add our yeast. Just wait for the camera to focus. So we just sprinkle that on top, and also our yeast nutrient. And what we need to do now is we need to leave that on the surface for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to mix it all in. So here we have the wine so far, and what we need to do now is we need to just put this in a warm room to bring the temperature down, and we'll leave it for 24 hours for the Camden tablet to dissipate. And then what that'll do is it'll get rid of any nasty microbes or bacteria that might be in the musk. And then what we'll do then is we will pitch our yeast and yeast nutrient. We're going to leave this mixture for about a week in a warm place, so about 21 degrees. So it's been about a week now since we started the Kiwi wine. What I like to do is put just a normal funnel first, sterilised, and then a muslin bag or muslin cloth on top of that just to catch any of the sediment. And what I'm going to do is, you want to just see inside of there, that's the kiwi. I'm just going to slowly pour it through. So what I need to do now is get myself a bung and an airlock which have been sterilised, and fill the top with the sterilising solution, and then you want to just put that in the top nice and tight, and then you want to leave this somewhere to carry on fermenting for a few months until it starts to clear, and then we'll go on to the next stage.